John Lennon, born on October 9, 1940, was an English musician and activist, best known as a founding member of the Beatles. Renowned for songs like Imagine, he was tragically shot dead on December 8, 1980, in New York. He was cremated, ashes scattered in New York Central Park. Freddie Mercury was a legendary British singer and songwriter, best known as Queen's frontman, with hits like Bohemian Rhapsody and We Are the Champions. Renowned for his stage presence, he died on November 24, 1991, from AIDS-related complications. He was cremated at Kensal Green Crematorium, London, ashes scattered at an unknown location. George Harrison was an English musician, best known as the lead guitarist of the Beatles, and for his solo works like All Things Must Pass. Renowned for his spiritual depth and musical innovation, he died on November 29, 2001, aged 58. He was cremated and his ashes were scattered in the Ganges and Yamuna rivers in India. David Bowie was an English singer-songwriter and actor, best known for hits like Space Oddity, Heroes, and Let's Dance, as well as his alter ego, Ziggy Stardust. Renowned for his innovation and reinvention, he died on January 10, 2016, age 69. He was cremated in New Jersey, and his ashes were scattered in Bali, Indonesia. Amy Winehouse was an English singer, songwriter, and musician, best known for Back to Black and hits like Rehab. Celebrated for her soulful, jazz-inspired voice, she died on July 23, 2011, aged 27, from alcohol poisoning. She was cremated, with ashes interred at Edgwarebury Cemetery, London. George Michael was an English singer-songwriter and record producer, best known for hits like Faith, Careless Whisper, and Last Christmas with Wham. Renowned for his powerful voice and pop influence, he died on December 25, 2016, aged 53, from heart and liver disease. He was buried at Highgate Cemetery, London, England. Mark Bolan was an English guitarist, singer, songwriter, and frontman of T-Rex, best known for pioneering glam rock with hits like Get It On and 20th Century Boy. Celebrated for his flamboyant style and influence, he died on September 16, 1977, aged 29, in a car crash. He was cremated at Golders Green Crematorium, London, and his ashes were interred there. Keith Moon was an English musician, born on August 23, 1946, best known as the drummer of The Who, famed for his wild energy and eccentric lifestyle. Celebrated for revolutionizing rock drumming, he died on September 7, 1978, from a drug overdose. Moon was cremated at Golders Green Crematorium, London, ashes scattered in gardens of remembrance. John Bonham was an English musician and drummer, born on May 31, 1948, best known as a founding member of Led Zeppelin, admired for his powerful drumming style. Regarded as one of rock's greatest drummers, he died on September 25, 1980, from asphyxiation. Bonham was cremated, and his ashes were interred at the graveyard of St. Michael's Church in Rushock, Worcestershire, England. Brian Jones was an English musician, born on February 28, 1942, best known as a founding member of the Rolling Stones, skilled in multiple instruments and shaping the band's early sound. Celebrated for his innovation, he died on July 3, 1969, from drowning. Jones was buried at Cheltenham Cemetery, Gloucestershire, England. Syd Barrett, born on January 6, 1946, was an English singer and guitarist, best known as a founding member of Pink Floyd, shaping the band's early psychedelic sound. Celebrated for his innovative songwriting and experimental guitar work, he also released solo albums including The Madcap Laughs. Struggling with mental health, Barrett later lived reclusively in Cambridge, remaining a cult figure in rock history. He died on July 7, 2006, aged 60. He was cremated in Cambridge, England, ashes given to family or friend. Ian Curtis, born on July 15, 1956, was an English singer, songwriter, and musician best known as the lead vocalist of Joy Division. Renowned for his deep voice and haunting lyrics, he became a post-punk icon. Struggling with depression and epilepsy, he tragically died by suicide on May 18, 1980, aged 23. Curtis's legacy profoundly influenced alternative music. He was cremated at Macclesfield Crematorium, Cheshire, England, and his memorial stone bears the inscription, "Love will tear us apart." Lemmy Kilmister, born on December 24, 1945, was an English musician, singer, and songwriter best known as the founder, bassist, and lead vocalist of Motorhead. Celebrated for his gravelly voice, aggressive bass style, and rock and roll lifestyle, he became a heavy metal icon. Lemmy died on December 28, 2015, aged 70, from prostate cancer and heart failure. He was cremated, and his ashes were placed in a columbarium at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, Hollywood, California. Joe Cocker was an English singer, best known for his soulful renditions of "With a Little Help from My Friends" and "You Are So Beautiful." Rising to fame in the late 1960s, he became renowned for his gritty voice, heartfelt delivery, and dynamic stage presence. Celebrated worldwide, Cocker earned lasting acclaim as a rock and soul icon. He died on December 22, 2014, aged 70, from lung cancer. He was buried at Crawford Cemetery in Crawford, Colorado, United States. Dusty Springfield was an English singer, best known for her soulful hits "Son of a Preacher Man," "You Don't Have to Say You Love Me," and "I Only Want to Be With You." Rising to prominence in the 1960s, she became known as the White Queen of Soul for her distinctive voice and style. Beloved internationally, she was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Springfield died on March 2, 1999, aged 59, from breast cancer. She was cremated, and her ashes were buried in Henley-on-Thames, Oxfordshire, England. Robin Gibb was a British singer and songwriter, best known as a member of the Bee Gees, alongside his brothers Barry and Maurice. With hits like "Stayin' Alive," "How Deep Is Your Love," and "Night Fever," the group became global icons of disco and pop. Celebrated for his distinctive vibrato voice and songwriting talent, Robin enjoyed both group and solo success. He died on May 20, 2012, aged 62, from liver and kidney failure. He was buried at St. Mary's Churchyard, Thames, Oxfordshire, England. Maurice Gibb, born on December 22, 1949, was a British musician and songwriter best known as a member of the Bee Gees, alongside his brothers Barry and Robin. Renowned for his harmonies, multi-instrumental talent, and contributions to classics like "Stayin' Alive" and "How Deep Is Your Love," he helped define the disco era. Gibb died on January 12, 2003, aged 53, from complications following surgery for a twisted intestine. He was cremated, and his ashes were laid to rest in Miami, Florida. Phil Lynott, born on August 20, 1949, was an Irish musician and songwriter best known as the founder, bassist, and lead vocalist of Thin Lizzy. Renowned for hits like "The Boys Are Back in Town" and "Whiskey in the Jar," he became a rock icon. Celebrated for his charismatic stage presence and poetic lyrics, Lynott influenced generations of musicians. He died on January 4, 1986, age 36, from pneumonia and heart failure. He was buried at St. Fintan's Cemetery, Sutton, Dublin, Ireland. Steve Marriott, born on January 30th, 1947, was an English musician and guitarist best known as the frontman of Small Faces and later Humble Pie. Celebrated for his powerful voice, dynamic stage presence, and songwriting, he became a major influence in rock and blues. Known for hits like Itchy Coo Park and 30 Days in the Hole, Marriott's career spanned decades. He died on April 20th, 1991, aged 44, in a house fire. He was cremated at Golders Green Crematorium, London. Ashes given to family or friend. Nick Drake was an English singer-songwriter and musician, best known for his hauntingly beautiful albums 5 Leaves Left, Brighter Later, and Pink Moon. Though largely overlooked during his lifetime, his introspective lyrics and delicate guitar work later earned him cult status and widespread acclaim. A deeply influential figure in folk music, Drake died on November 25, 1974, aged 26, from an overdose of antidepressants. He was cremated at Solihull Crematorium, and his ashes were later interred under an oak tree in the graveyard of the Church of St. Mary Magdalene in Tanworth in Arden. Keith Emerson was an English keyboardist and songwriter best known as a founding member of Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Celebrated for his virtuosic skill on keyboards and pioneering use of synthesizers, he became a progressive rock icon. Known for dynamic live performances and innovative compositions, Emerson influenced generations of musicians. He died on March 11, 2016, aged 71, from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Keith Emerson was buried at Lancing and Sompting Cemetery in Lancing, West Sussex, England, following a private family ceremony. Greg Lake, born on November 10, 1947, was an English singer and songwriter best known as a founding member of King Crimson and Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Renowned for his rich voice, bass playing, and songwriting, he contributed classics like Lucky Man and In the Court of the Crimson King. Celebrated for blending rock with classical influences, Lake became a defining figure in progressive rock. He died on December 7, 2016, age 69 from cancer. Greg Lake was cremated, as he is memorialized at Putney Vale Cemetery and Crematorium in London, England. John Lord, born on June 9, 1941, was an English keyboardist and composer best known as a founding member of Deep Purple. Renowned for pioneering the fusion of rock and classical music, he created iconic organ riffs in songs like Smoke on the Water. Celebrated for his virtuosic Hammond organ style, Lord also composed orchestral works. He died on July 16, 2012, age 71, from pancreatic cancer. He was buried in the new churchyard of St. Mary the Virgin Church in Hambledon, Buckinghamshire, England. Chris Squire was an English singer and songwriter, best known as the bassist and co-founder of the progressive rock band Yes. Renowned for his innovative bass playing and harmonies, he contributed to classics like Roundabout and Owner of a Lonely Heart. Widely regarded as one of rock's greatest bassists, he remained with Yes throughout his career. Squire died on June 27, 2015, aged 67, from acute erythroid leukemia. He was cremated, and his ashes were interred in Phoenix, Arizona, United States. Pete Ham was a Welsh singer and songwriter, best known as the lead vocalist and guitarist of Badfinger, contributing to hits like No Matter What, Day After Day, and co-writing Without You, later made famous by Harry Nilsson and Mariah Carey. Celebrated for his melodic songwriting and influence on power pop, Ham's career was tragically cut short. He died on April 24, 1975, age 27, by suicide. Pete Ham was cremated, and his ashes were scattered in the memorial gardens at the Morriston Crematorium in Swansea, Wales. Kirsty MacColl was a British singer and songwriter best known for her hits "There's a Guy Works Down the Chip Shop," "Swears He's Elvis," "In These Shoes," and for her duet with the Pogues on Fairy Tale of New York. Celebrated for her witty lyrics and distinctive voice, she enjoyed both solo and collaborative success. Tragically, she died on December 18, 2000, aged 41, in a boating accident in Mexico. Kirsty MacColl was cremated at Mortlake Crematorium in Kew, after a humanist funeral was held in the UK. Billy Fury was an English musician, best known as one of Britain's early rock and roll stars, with hits like "Halfway to Paradise," "Jealousy," and "Last Night Was Made for Love." Often compared to Elvis Presley for his style and charisma, he became a teen idol in the 1960s. Despite ongoing health struggles, he left a lasting mark on British pop music. Fury died on January 28, 1983, aged 42, from a heart attack. He was buried at Mill Hill Cemetery, London, England. Steve Clark was an English musician, best known as the guitarist and principal songwriter for the rock band Def Leppard. Renowned for his powerful riffs and melodic style, he helped craft hits like "Photograph," "Rock of Ages," and "Hysteria." Widely respected as the band's creative force, Clark struggled with alcoholism throughout his career. He died on January 8, 1991, aged 30, from respiratory failure caused by a mix of alcohol and prescription drugs. He was buried at Wisewood Cemetery, Sheffield, England. Mick Ronson was an English musician and songwriter, best known as the guitarist for David Bowie's backing band, the Spiders from Mars, during the Ziggy Stardust era. Renowned for his dynamic guitar work and arrangements, he also collaborated with artists like Ian Hunter, Bob Dylan, and Lou Reed. Celebrated as one of rock's great guitarists, Ronson left a lasting influence on glam rock and beyond. He died on April 29, 1993, aged 46, from liver cancer. He was buried in his hometown of Hull, East Yorkshire, England.